Good morning. And I am keeping to my commitment to myself that I challenged myself to go live every day until my book launch, which is on Tuesday, September 5th, coming up. And today I thought I would talk about my relationship with money, which has changed so much over the years, but especially in the most recent years. And I grew up quite poor, didn't have a lot of money growing up, and had to preserve the food, couldn't just go into the cupboards and grab whatever we wanted to eat, that kind of thing. Didn't ask for a lot of stuff from my parents because we didn't have the money and I didn't expect them to say yes, and so it just was never a thing. I got a job as soon as I was old enough to get a job at the age of 14, and from then until now, I've always worked if I could. Obviously, there were times during my worst health challenges when I couldn't work, or when my babies were young little babies and I was too busy being a mommy to work. But at any other time, at any time that I've been capable of working, I have worked because I have always believed in being able to provide for myself and earn a living. However, I didn't have a lot of high hopes for wealth. I had a dream of acquiring wealth over time, but I didn't really believe that I would. It just wasn't in the realm of my understanding. I didn't have wealthy people in my life. As an example, my family was poor, the people I knew were poor. Everyone was struggling financially as far as I knew. And so it just never occurred to me that I could start building wealth at a young age, and they don't teach it in high school. Like, the things that I've learned in the past few years, I'm trying to teach it to my kids now because I wish I had known it at their age. And I think a big part of my problem was that my poverty led me to have what I call poverty thinking. And my poverty thinking was that it's hard to make money. Money is hard to get. Um, People like me don't make good money. Uh, you know, if only I had someone to leave me a huge inheritance one day, or if something happened where I suddenly won, say, like a lottery, or, these are the things that went through my mind. And it never occurred to me that I could build my own wealth by investing and diversifying my income and things like that. So in the last few years, I've really looked hard at my relationship with money and my beliefs about money and myself in relationship to money. And I've stopped distrusting people who have money and started trying to learn, how did they succeed? Why do they feel comfortable building wealth and it's not daunting to them? Why does money seem to naturally come to some people and not to others? And as I've done that research and looked into myself, I've started to change the way I view money and my relationship with money. And I've started to use affirmations and visualizations and that kind of thing as well, which I think does help. And with that, I say things like, passive income flows like a river. I'm the receiver and I am the giver. I'm I'm a writer and I like to write poems. So a lot of my affirmations rhyme. But these are the kinds of things that I've done to try and change my view of money and my relationship with money. And then concrete steps I've taken is I took out a life insurance policy. So I know that if I pass away in within the term of this life insurance policy, that my family will get a chunk of money each that they can use to invest, or buy a home, or put as a down payment on a home in this market, or whatever it is, that, they could have a chunk of money that's quite substantial that I never would have had. And that might give them a bit of a boost or a start to a business that they're building, or whatever it is that their dreams that they're trying to create. I also invested in a few different cryptocurrency investments. One that I've stuck with now that's really working well for me, and I just love that these opportunities come along through my friends, and I check it out, and I'm a risk taker. So I've that's helped me sometimes and that's harmed me sometimes, but I never let it really harm me. Like, I don't mentally beat myself up if I take a risk and it doesn't pan out, because I know that taking risks is the only way to ever achieve anything. And I know that from my own experience. I've tried so many different businesses and I've tried so many different paths and I've tried so many different jobs. I am a risk taker. I don't stick around for anything that I don't like, but I learn from it and then I move on. And so that's another thing that I started doing. I invested in a crypto trading platform that's doing really well for me and I'm happy with it. And I've also, uh, invested in things that uh, I feel nervous investing in, with our fiat dollar being so unstable. I did start to invest in stocks and bonds and that kind of thing. And then I had my financial advisor really recommend that I apply for a disability tax credit. And that would give me the right to invest in registered disability savings plan. So I did that and I got accepted. And so now I'm investing in a registered disability savings plan. And then I've got, I went out and I bought a safe and, it doesn't usually have anything in it, but I know I can put stuff in it. And then I'm investing in my partner's business with him. We spend money that we have to spend to get the tools that we need for him to make his business happen. And this is all a part of my, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Just evolving relationship with money and understanding how to use money for my benefit and how to build wealth. And instead of feeling fear about money and allowing myself to get caught up in feelings of poverty thinking where I start panicking or worrying, I just trust that the money's going to come and I make that investment in myself and my future and my children's future in those different small ways. And I feel very freed and I feel like I am diversifying my income by having multiple income streams through my books and my fan page and other kinds of things. So I'm getting there and it's amazing and I feel really good about money these days. And there is actually a manifest money chapter in my business Bible in my book that's coming out on September 5th. And I think that that chapter explains a lot of how I've had to evolve and what has worked for me to get into a place where I'm not afraid of money anymore and I don't hate money anymore and I don't hate people with money anymore and I want to build as much wealth as I can because there's so many programs that I want to support and so many things that I'd like to fund. So, I mean, it's a dream, but it might come true. Thanks for listening to another live. I got it out of the way early this morning, and I am going to take it easy for the rest of the day today. I hope you have a wonderful weekend.